Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I'm VJ IE from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, Mix. And for today, we have a band all the way from Canada joining us. They're one of my favorite bands. I'm actually the one who invited them today for this MYXclusive interview. And hopefully, there will be more Filipino fans appreciating their music. Let's get to know them more. Please welcome Soul Push.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Wow. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You said, hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, I thought you said salamat. That's like thank you in Filipino.
Well, let's pretend that we did. Yeah. If it's impressive.
I am hearing things. But yes, let me teach you that. Salamat means thank you in Filipino.
Salamat.
Okay, salamat.
Right.
Yes, salamat. Okay. Well, salamat, guys, for being here today. I know it's pretty late there in Canada, but thank you so much for joining us. Would you like to greet everyone watching right now? We're live on 5 platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and this Filipino live streaming app. It's called Kumu.
Awesome. Nice. Well, hey, thanks for everyone for joining in. Excited to get to know you in the future if you like our music, and thanks for having us.
Yay! Can you please introduce yourselves one by one and what your role is in the band?
I'm Dallin, and I play the drums in the band.
I'm Conan, and I sing and play guitar.
And I'm Andrew, and I play the bass.
And then Tim is not here today, but we have him on a shirt to join with us virtually. He plays lead guitar in the band as well. So,
Him and his
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks for the effort. You know, we feel like Tim is with us in spirit.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's get right to it. We want to get to know you more. So let's start with where your love for music came from. Let's do it one by one, starting from the left. Okay, Andrew, maybe you can start. Oh, our left, yes.
My love for music, I think it inherently came from my family just because I grew up listening to a lot of music. My dad and my brother are both very musical. So I feel like I've always had an ear for it. And then when I went to elementary school, I went to an art school. So I just naturally had to play a bunch of random instruments. I played like the trumpet and the saxophone, not well by any means, but I got to dabble from a very young age. And then, so I think I always like had a love for it and just like a natural sort of ear for it.
Andrew, when you said that your parents were musical, were they also like recording artists? Were they performers, or did they just love music?
I think they just love music. My dad's always played the guitar, and he, I mean, I think it was always the same kind of songs over and over, but it was like he was there from the beginning, you know? So, yeah.
It's a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go with Conan.
All right, so for me, surprisingly as well, I didn't really come from a musical family. I know, like, my mom tinkered on the piano when she was growing up, but all the parents in our family didn't play. But then surprisingly, all the offspring, so myself and all my cousins, we all played music, and there's not one of us that really doesn't. I guess every weekend I'd be woken up by my dad playing music on the loudspeaker, and that's just like was my alarm clock every weekend. And then I guess when I saw School of Rock when I was 11 years old, that's when I was like,
Jack Black?
With Jack Black. I was like,
Nice.
I'm going to learn how to play music just because of that movie. And that's what started it all, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Wow, I hope you get to meet Jack Black one day and tell that to his face. Like, I am in a band right now. We're doing music because of School of Rock.
Basically, really, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, Dallin.
So mine's kind of the same as Andrew. It came from my parents. My dad had 8 siblings. So him and his brothers were kind of in a band growing up. So I was kind of surrounded by music when I was younger. And I didn't really start playing drums till I was a teenager when my dad finally bought a drum kit again. And then just hang out with these guys all the time. We they kind of introed me to jamming with just other musicians, and it kind of just took off from there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And was your dad the drummer of his band as
He
well?
was, yeah. He had
Oh.
4 other brothers, and they all play guitar. So
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming that they were supportive of your music career right from the start.
absolutely, yeah, they're some of our #1 fans.
And was it the same for like Conan as well and Andrew?
For supportive parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone was like at our shows. We used to have our parents get in party buses and take them down to the shows
Yeah.
to all come watch us. And I think Andrew's mom has got every single performance we've ever done on her iPhone just from in the crowd.
Yeah, just like
Which I feel bad because she didn't really like she experienced the show, but the whole time she's always recorded it.
yeah.
But yeah, we've never had parents that didn't let us do it. So we were super lucky about that.
Yeah, I think like from the very beginning, like I think us playing shows was more of an excuse just for everybody to go party in like a club or a venue, you know what I mean? Just to like parents, kids, friends, everybody. And it just kind of was like, that just set the tone for everything we've done ever since. So it's just been like a lot of friends and family involved, and yeah, it's been cool.
Oh, you have really cool parents then. But now we'd like to know how you guys met. So can you
let's
tell
do
us
that
the
story.
story about that?
Because you met before I met you, so.
Yeah. We just
Yeah.
met in high school, right?
Yeah.
Me and Dallin were the first to know each other. I guess in grade 8, we just met each other in high school with same friend
Yeah.
groups.
And Tim.
And Tim, and Tim.
And then I was born and raised in South Africa. And so I moved over to Canada when I was 15 years old, and I joined for grade 9. And so the first day of grade 9, actually, the very first class was gym class. I remember these guys were actually running next to each other, and I remember just seeing them like, oh, those guys look cool. Like, maybe I'll be friends with them kind of thing. But we became friends, but it was just like good acquaintances, and we hung out a lot in high school. But then really after high school was when we actually really became super close. We were all in the same friend group in high school, but we never really hung out like this together during high school. And it's weird that after high school is when we kind of synced it up together mostly. But yeah, it was the first class I met them, and then in my second class, which was math, I met Tim. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So how did you guys know that you all were musically inclined and that you wanted to form a band with each other?
We've all been in the same classes throughout high school, but we all knew that we love music, and everyone kind of dabbled on an instrument. So we got together time to time and just jammed random covers like Radiohead and just indie covers back in the day. And it wasn't until after high school, Conan asked us to do this recording project together, and we had to write 1 or 2 songs. And we ended up booking a show, and it kind of took off. Promoters started to really look into us, and we just kept playing shows, and now here we are.
But it's funny, I'll add to that because I actually remember the very first conversation I had about it. I was doing music by myself just in my bedroom. And then I remember we had this foyer at school where we would all meet in the mornings and stuff. And I think we were just having conversations with friends. And I said to John, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, oh, a rock star. And I was like, bing, noted. Yeah. Yeah.
Future bandmate.
Yeah.
So did you guys perform in school or anything?
No,
Not in
never.
school.
No, I
Only
played.
Conan did it in
Conan
Battle of the Bands and
Yeah.
just various bands with his cousins.
Yeah. So like with those family bands, because
Yeah.
we come from like a family,
Yeah.
cousins as I was saying. So,
I used to jam with his cousins as well, actually. We all did.
Yeah. We had a like very humbled start to our band because we just got this opportunity to perform. Like at the very beginning, we all said our goal is to play in downtown Vancouver,
Yeah.
which at the time seemed like a huge accomplishment. It is a huge accomplishment, but like for us, we were like, we just want to play downtown. Like we've made it kind of thing. And then our first gig, we got to play it downtown. So we're like, okay, well now what?
we're from the farm, by the way,
Yeah,
farmland. So
yeah, we
that's
were
why,
like out of the city.
We're not from Vancouver.
So like to play at like the big venues and stuff was really cool. And then we just like escalated from there, and one thing after another. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't downtown. It was one venue specifically. We're like, oh, we'll know that we had like a good time if we played that, and it was our first show as well. So
Yeah.
Oh.
turned out great. Yeah.
We got lucky.
What's the name of the venue?
It used to be back in the day. It was called Joe's Apartment. Now it's called Studio. It used to be very thriving with music, but at the moment, not anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're 19, younger, like you looked up to it. But
Mhm.
looking at it now, we're like, Joe's Apartment. You know, wouldn't play there again.
It was a great start.
But it's a good start. Yeah.
We packed that place with the party buses we were telling you about. So
Yeah.
it was a good time.
So right now, what would be your version of that today? Like, what is one place that you'd like to play? And when you've played there, you can say, we've made it.
Ooh, nice. Somebody start.
I don't know. We have some local venues that are like we've been going to for years that we'd like to play, like the Vogue Theater in Vancouver. But then there's other places like obviously playing festivals like Coachella and like Red Rock Amphitheater. I think would be incredible. But, yeah.
We got very lucky, and all the venues that we looked up to in Vancouver, we were fortunate enough to play by either opening for other bigger bands at this really nice venue called the Commodore, and having our own show at another venue called Venue. But I think the one is the Vogue. We really want to play there one day.
Yeah, we've seen most of our favorite bands play there, so it would be pretty special to perform there.
Yeah.
Now that you've mentioned your favorite bands, can you name some? Like, which artists influenced you early on?
Wow. I feel like it changes every year.
Yeah,
but if we're talking like at the very beginning,
Yep.
early days, I guess we could take turns saying one.
Yeah.
I'll start I think Foles was a big influence for us back in the day at the beginning.
Yeah, Bombay Bicycle Club.
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys, of course.
Yeah, Tokyo Police Club, Two Door Cinema Club, bands like that.
A lot of clubs.
Like those clubs. Yeah. Those like dancey indie sort of bands we were like really into, like the energetic. I feel like we've always like had energy in our music. That's kind of just what people have said, and I feel like it comes from those bands.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of guys really discover their musicality in high school, just like you guys, and then they form bands as well for school performances and all. But not everyone decides that they really want to make a career out of it. So what was like the point in your lives when you realized that you really want to take this seriously and you want to form a band?
Well, the forming a band thing was the easy part, where it was just like a fun thing we did in the summer, just because we're bored really, and then a friend asked us to open for them. And so we never saw it as a career, and we just kind of just did it because it was super fun, and the venues liked us, and they kept asking us to come back, and we're like, yes. And then I think when we really took it seriously is because we moved to London for a period, and I think when we actually moved to London together in the UK, that's when we're like, okay, so we're actually doing this. We're going out and we're touring a bunch. And I think before that, we were just playing catch up the whole time. Like we were getting asked to open for other bands and everything. We're like, yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And just kept doing it. But then I think London was a turning point. Am I wrong?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
It helps to get out of your hometown, because when you're in your hometown, there's a lot of friends and family, and you don't realize how many people actually have listened to your music before, especially at like local shows. So going to a different country and doing that was a really cool experience, because you get to meet all these new people and new bands and musicians, and it like really makes it real.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yes, I actually saw your TikTok video explaining how that all came to be. You guys moving to London, yes. And I just want to know how that conversation went down. Like, it's a big move. It's like a huge commitment to do. So, like, Conan, how were you able to convince the three of them to move to London with you and leave everything, all the people they love, physically behind?
It's planting little seeds throughout the years, because I remember the first one, we were in Dallin's parents' backyard in a pool, like a blow-up pool, and we're all lying there and like, oh, we should move to London one day. Like, the music scene's great there. And they're like, yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah. And then my family lives in London, like my dad's side, so I'd visit them and I'd be like, guys, the music scene's great over here. And they're like, yeah. And then one day, I think I was just talking about it with Dallin, and we're like, let's actually do it. And Dallin's a yes man, so he was like, yes, let's do it. And then we approached Andrew, and Andrew was like, what? Like, we're not going to move to London. And then, sure enough, like 2 months later, he was like, all right, let's move to London. Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
I guess we're just all at a point where it was crossroads. Like, Andrew had finished business school, Dallin had just finished school as well. I had just finished school too, and we're kind of like, we're either going to dive into, jobs now here and stay put. And we're also living on it, like in the farmlands, and it felt like very, I don't know, claustrophobic, just not being able to do much and just having the same. So we just kind of want to break out of that. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great strategy. You used Inception on them, like planting seeds from time to time.
Yeah.
Yes. that would be like a great entry. I mean, you guys moving to London because one of your friends told you to. That's a great entry to tell me your best friends without telling me your best friends. Because only best friends would do that. Like if you tell each other.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And
Okay, now, yes, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what's crazy is we were best friends when we moved there, but then living together, 4 people in a home, just brought us on a whole new level closer that I never expected. Getting to know the people a little too much.
We're a
But
little too close now.
Yeah.
but yeah, that was great.
But why London of all places?
Well, we just figured that, we come from Vancouver, like when I grew up Canada, so the next city we can really play in is 12 hours drive away. And it's quite far away. And in London, we were able to play shows in different cities and still go home and sleep in our beds. And in London itself, there's a lot of different places to play. Like it's all its own boroughs and suburbs that have its own culture. So it was kind of like touring that, and the rest of the UK is close enough.
Yeah.
And our favorite bands are from there. So
It's such a thriving industry there, and like most of the bands we were listening to at the time, still listening to at the time, are from the UK. So we felt like that was a hot spot for the music that we're kind of
And London is so big. On any night, we could just look up online who's playing. We could go take the tube 15 minutes somewhere and catch a great show of a band that we love. So that was a great thing.
Yeah.
How long were you guys there for?
A year and
almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
We moved to Portugal for the tail end.
Yeah.
And that went down the exact same way that London did. It was literally like one day, Conan's like, yeah, we should move to Portugal. My grandparents have a place there. We're like, no, why would we do that? Next thing you know, we're booking flights and taking all of our instruments
we have
there.
a shipping container full of our stuff arriving at the front door of home.
But that's where we wrote all of our new music now. So that's
I'm just thinking of the next place we can go.
Okay, Conan, please explain, why did you think of Portugal?
Well, my grandfather was born and raised in Portugal. And so he's actually got a home there that's just sitting there and no one's using it at all. So I just figured, you know what? We could be in London for the lot. We went to London to work on music and write a lot of stuff, and we did. But being in London and being 4 friends in a house, not as much music was made as we thought, because we landed up having a lot more fun than we anticipated. And it kind of got to the point where like, okay, we're going home for 6 months. We should probably get something on the go. Like, it's not going to happen in London. We got a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas, but we just don't need somewhere to hunker down. So we went to Portugal, and of course, no one's living there. It's my grandfather's place in a vineyard in a town with less than 100 people. No one spoke a word of English, and it was super secluded. So of course, there's no distractions there. So we went there, and we just focused on music for 3 months and did that every day, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a dream.
Now it's one of our favorite places in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, how did you guys survive? No one spoke English there?
Google Translate works.
Yeah.
Pretty damn well.
But there is such welcoming people as well. It was really, it was easy to make friends there.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like when humans want to connect and converse with each other, they find a way.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Vineyards, and the first thing that came to my mind is Like Vineyards, the song that brought me to you guys. It appeared on my Discover Weekly on Spotify, and I really loved the sound, and I never really thought to search you guys up. It was just a title and a band name. Your band name then was Little India, and then the Spotify Wrapped feature, it shows you what you were listening to for a decade.
Yeah.
And that popped up, and then Like Vineyards by Little India was on my one of the most listened to songs of the decade. I had to post it, and then I searched up Little India, and then I saw you guys. So that's when I started listening to your other songs as well. So can we please talk about I Like Vineyards? I know it's been a while since you released that, but it's the song that brought me to you guys, so it's very special to me. Can you tell us about the song?
That's great. That one's actually got a funny story because, as Andrew was saying, all our music and our live shows have always been dancey and had a lot of energy. And I think this was about our 3rd or 4th show that we were going to play, and we said, "Oh, we need a softer, slower song just for a moment, just to calm the crowd down." Because I think my dad was saying "You guys are so energetic and so fast, I just need a break sometimes." And then we're like, "Okay, let's add in a slower song." And we're at a band practice, and I went into Dylan's room for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
and came out with like vineyards and like, all right, let's do this. And it was written in 15 minutes on the spot, just for the sake of having a slower song in the set. And I'm not even kidding with that. Like, it was super quick, but we felt it and we were like, all right, let's do it. And we played it, and it's been a fan favorite ever since. Yeah.
And is it like the most listened to song on Spotify?
It is. Yeah.
For us, yeah.
And we have songs in there that we spend like 3 months like heading over, and like it's just not as popular as that one, which was just like instant.
We've had a lot of people use it as their first dance at their weddings as well.
Yeah.
Friends of ours, but also people we've never met before, and they share their videos with us. So it's been,
we played it live for a friend's wedding, actually, their first dance. So that was pretty special.
it was sweet.
Yeah, and for some lyrical content for you, like it's whatever the song means to you, we want it to mean what it says to the fan, like have their own interpretation. Of course, it sounds like, well, it is a love song and everything, and it's about, you know, finding your person to grow old with and stuff. But when we were writing it from that standpoint, it's really just about friendship and like growing old with your friends. But it's nice that people have related it on so many levels and used it for weddings and stuff like that. But really, it's about these guys, you know, the song. So
Exactly. I'm one of those people who thought it was a love song at first, and then I found your TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, it's about friends."
yeah,
But yes,
yeah, that one where we're sitting on the couch together. That
I think so. Yes, you were
Oh, yeah.
explaining everything about the song, but
nice.
don't worry, it didn't take anything out of the song. I still love it, even though I found out it's not for like a significant other.
But it could be. Could be.
Yes, it
Yeah.
could be.
I'm not married
Exactly.
one of them. You never know. You never know.
He's planting the seed right now.
Planting the seed.
We're already married.
Exactly.
Okay. As I mentioned, your name when I found you guys was Little India. Can you tell us why there was a change in the name, and why did you choose Little India at first?
Yeah, at first it was 2012. We were fresh out of high school. And at that point, we like all our favorite bands were naming themselves after cities like Tokyo Police Club, and everything like that. So we just Andrew actually had a book from India that he gave me in high school. And as I was saying, we were acquaintances in high school, but we weren't like really great friends. We're like the best of friends. We're just good friends. But when we started the band, it was kind of like a way to use symbolism. Like, oh, we have this thing that relates to us. It's this little book on India. So why don't we just call it Little India? Well, actually, I said India, and then Dylan suggested Little because it's a little book. And we just liked it because it was easy to remember. It was another city. And then, we were younger, and as we get older, we started realizing, oh, maybe it's not the best idea for, 4 white dudes in a band to be called Little India. So we should probably change our name. And, the world's changing and everything, and so are we. And, at the time, it never crossed our minds. But as we got older, and got more mature, we're like, okay, we should change this because we don't want to step on anyone's toes, because the name didn't come from a place like that. It came from a fun place. But we understand it could have rubbed people the wrong way. So we decided to change it. Yeah.
Okay, so now why did you decide to change it to Soul Push?
We literally, like, I'd like to say we have this glamorous story, but it was literally we wanted to change our band, and we wanted to have like a fresh start, and it was a chance to sort of embrace like a new image as well. And we literally had a notepad of like 200 names. I swear to God.
At least.
Yeah, we would like write every time we would think of something, like sometimes literally just like sitting in a room, like you see 2 things, like you throw it on the notepad. And then we had it, and then we would narrow it down, and then we narrowed it down to like a small bunch. But then Soul Push would just like always kind of stood out, because I remember like when we were first going through like our favorites, it gave this sort of like almost like 90s sort of like aesthetic. Like it almost seemed like it could be like a cool brand in itself, never mind like the music and all this sort of stuff. So we were kind of like, this is something we could get down with, and then I think we just eventually settled with it.
And more importantly, like our music changes as we get older, and that's at least a name that can change with the music. Whereas like Little India as well feels like very indie rock and everything like that, and how we started and stuff. But we can change genres and everything, and the name I think will still be a good front for whatever we do. Yeah.
And speaking of, evolving with your sound, how would you describe your sound now compared to when you were starting before?
Well, before, do you have anything to say on that? We just kind of like be in a room, and it'll just be the 4 of us jamming out. And so it's very like 2 guitars, 2 basses. I mean, 1 bass. 2 basses would be great.
We always wanted to do
Yeah. 2 guitars, 1 bass, and a drums and a drum kit, and it's just just the classic lead rhythm and everything. But now we have the luxury, as most artists do, of really sitting down and thinking about it and like putting special flares on the sounds behind a computer, and then translating it into the band setting. So like I might write a synth part that sounds, that becomes a lead in a song or something, but then Tim will play it on the guitar instead. So we bring it back to the rock band roots, but necessarily wouldn't start on a guitar. So I think that's the thing. Like we still want to be a band, but we want to be able to branch out and try different things that we wouldn't think of while we're sitting down without guitars in our hands.
Yeah, and like some of our favorite bands are great producers as well. And like a lot of their songs will start from like really interesting places that, like you said, would come in a band setting, whether it's like a sample or like kind of said, like a synth or something. So I feel like that's always on the forefront. Like, how can this be something that you wouldn't necessarily get from a band, but then we like bring it in, bring it home.
And and I think taste changed as well, because I remember when we started, I was like, we're never ever using piano ever. And like that's the thing. And I think I only write on the piano now. I never ever pick up my guitar anymore. It's just piano based, and that's how the song starts. So I think you change and your music changes with you.
Yeah.
And one of the examples of the changes in your band is your latest single now, Good Man. It sounds very different from your early releases. So please tell us about Good Man.
Good Man was one that was written in London on a friend's little synth. And then basically wrote a little demo and showed the guys. And you always talk about that, so I'll let you.
Yeah, well, it was like, we had this funny thing where, because Conan would always stay up late and make demos, which was great because he was busting on new music. And then we had a day where we were working like day jobs at the time in London. And I think me, Tim, and Dallin went out and did our thing. And then we came home, and I don't know why, but Conan was at home making music.
You don't know what?
I don't know. We went
Okay, wait. Let me just stop you right there. As a fan, I'd like to know, what were your day jobs in London?
We were working at a bar together. And I think Tim was
working at like an outdoor mountain equipment store.
Yeah. And then eventually a bar.
And then a bar with me, a different bar.
Yeah.
And then I was working a bar as well as an escape room. And then when I came home for Christmas, back to Canada, I lost the bar job because I came home, and
we all did.
They didn't want us to leave.
We all lost it.
They were like, no, we're going home for Christmas. And then when I went back, instead of looking for another bar job, I just decided to use our studio to start producing other people. And so I ended up doing that as a job for the second year there.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. Andrew, you may continue with your story.
What was I talking about?
Good Man.
Good Man.
Yeah. So we came home from our jobs, and then we used to just come and be like, oh, I made a demo, and then we would just like walk in and be like, oh, let's hear it. And literally the studio was like in our bedrooms, so like we all had little like things in our bedrooms. So we like sat on his bed or like on the bouncy ball or whatever we were doing with that. And then he just showed it to us, and we were like, that's really good. Like that's the song. But then we like analyzed the production and like where we wanted to head, but it was like a pretty complete demo.
Yeah.
So it was one of those magical demos that just get pulled out of the air.
That has 80% completion on
it. We were grateful for that.
But the extra good 20% was in Portugal when we all got together and we just tinker around in the room and just made it something special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the bridge and the pre-choruses we did in Portugal, and there was all of us in a room together trying to figure it out, but the rest was there. Yeah.
I think it was very it was a lot more electronic in the beginning as well, like a lot more like it has a big synth vibe in the choruses, but it was like very synthy in the early days, and then we kind of wanted to pull it to more like vintage roots kind of, and then I think it kind of met in a nice little in between.
Yeah.
And how about lyrics wise? What is Good Man about?
Good Man was, I wrote it in London at a time where, the song is basically about a guy that sleeps around and fools around, and then he meets someone and wants to settle down with them. And so it's like saying they'll become a good man. And the girls in the pre-choruses are saying, boys, there's a limit. Can you try for a while to stay in it, kind of thing. And it's just about kind of honing in on yourself. But it's funny because the music video shows the flip side of that, where I don't know if you've seen the music video, but it starts with all of us in a room, and we're at a dinner table, and slowly every shot something gets taken out, And so it's just kind of showing that even though that might sound fun and dancey to have that lifestyle where you might not have someone connect, like you sleep around or something like that. At the end of the day, you come home, you're by yourself, you got nothing left. It's just you in an empty room kind of thing. And so that's basically the lyrical content of it. So it's like a double-edged flip there. Yeah.
And I understand you guys are also very hands-on with your music videos. Like you directed it yourself. You guys produced it basically. So can you tell us like your most fun memory of shooting the music video? Was it done during the pandemic?
It was done during the pandemic, but it was done in Dylan's house actually.
Yeah.
And so we did it under the radar, had 1 or 2 friends there. We're all in the same bubble anyways. So we're able to get it done with like very minimal effort, which is great. But favorite memory?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
About that music video or any music video?
For that music video specifically.
That one.
I think like just because the concept, we wanted it to be like that 60s vibe. So it was like 60, 70 like dinner party. That was our original idea. So I think just like coming up with the idea for what would be on the table was really interesting. Yeah. Like we literally made like a Jello cake, like something you would see off of like Mad Men or something.
Yeah, in the 70s or something.
Yeah, and just like crafting like the prawn cocktails and like all these sorts of little things that just look.
It was all very hands-on. Like we set up the dishes ourselves. We set up the backdrop and like kind of assembled everything, all the props and everything together. So, and we haven't really had a music video where we've done that 100% hands-on yet. So that was fun and interesting.
Yeah, of course, my favorite memory is eating all the food afterwards. That was great. Yeah, there's a lot of food.
But that must have been hard, like with the continuity and everything. What was like the most challenging thing doing that music video where, every shot is kind of the same and there's something missing for every...
The red wine spill. Andrew was dumping pouring a glass of red wine and eventually the glass disappears and he's still pouring the red wine. So it covered the tablecloth. We had 9 tablecloth changes, I think.
Yeah.
Where we had to set everything completely the exact same and recreate the shot as well.
It was a good example of like a real team effort because you can't redo the shot. You have one take for it because when it spills on a white tablecloth, it spills and you can't get that out at all, especially in the time frame. So Andrew would pour it, Mona Lisa would have her glass out and it'll go in. Then the next shot, her hand is there without a glass and Andrew pours all over Mona Lisa's hand, goes in the tablecloth, then Matisse, who was on the camera, yells cut. We all stand up, all the plates in front of us, we just put in our chair, put down, all take the tablecloth off, put it around. Dylan's girlfriend bought the new tablecloth, would put it on, put everything back on, and sit right back down. The cameras reset, and it's like, and go, and the next one. So it was very like quick turnaround with everything.
Everybody had their own little station that they were like in charge of, like your plate, your setup, like remember what's in front of you, make sure it looks the same.
Yeah.
Don't spill any wine, which I almost did a few times.
All right. Well, congratulations. You guys pulled it off. It's a great music video. I hope we can play it out on our channel. And to everyone watching, please do vote for it on our official website, mixph.com, so we can enter our charts. Now, you were mentioning about something about your favorite memories in general about doing music videos. So let's do that. Which music video of yours is your favorite to do?
Oh, wow. There's so many good ones.
I'm not sure if you've seen the Youngblood music video. It's us performing in an elderly home, and kind of in the bridge or the chorus, they kind of break out and they're dancing. They're showing their young, true, like childish spirits.
Just to give you context, when we go play, they don't want us to play, and it's an elderly home. They hate us. But as the song goes,
eventually there's a few of them that end up taking over the stage and performing instead. And the lady who takes over the drum kit, Dale, grabs me by the hair and is just like beating me up and just throws me off my drums and ends up playing my drums.
I think it was great just to see like actors like playing us and just playing to our songs and just singing along and everything and actually performing to it. It was actually really fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of our parents actually because we had a makeup artist there and she did our parents up to look like they were a lot older than they were. So that was funny as well because they're all in the music video.
They're all extras in the video.
Yeah.
So is it Youngblood for everyone? Or do you guys have other entries?
I think mine would be probably Sleep, which was our first music video like a long time ago. But the whole concept for that video was do everything in like the music video happens in reverse.
Yes.
So Conan had to learn all the lyrics backwards, which is really interesting. But we're like skateboarding and like riding bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was another great example of a team effort because we literally had like 20 people that day. Even if one person was literally there just to like throw us a skateboard like midway through the video, and like it was just like such a cool energy, especially because we were so young and like it's our first music video and
it was all one take, so you literally could not make a mistake or we would have to restart. So
I think my favorite one is Diamonds, just because that's literally all iPhone footage from when we lived in London and Portugal.
Yeah.
And so meshed together with the performance video. So watching that video, it's not really, you don't feel like you're watching a music video for us. Like you're just watching the best moments of your life really just play out in front of you. So, or Sticky Situation. That was a fun music video.
That was fun. I forgot about that.
That was just us with pizza and beers and a green screen behind us. And we just went crazy.
Yeah.
And you guys edited that yourself, is that right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That was all good.
Yeah. So I basically, for the last little bit, just directed all of our music videos and Andrew's produced it, Dan's done all the props, everything. We've just kind of got the team together and nailed it down. Tim shows up, looks good, does what he needs to do when we ask him. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Sticky Situation. There's a particular line there that I think, speaks for the whole song. I love you, but I'm not in love with spending time with you. I think it's a very honest song. It's risky, but it's very honest. Can you tell us about how the song came about?
That was another funny one.
Yeah, like I'll speak on that. I guess like on the flip side, what I said of like, we would cut, well, in the same vein, like where I said Conan would make a demo, we'd come in and we'd listen to it. It was the same sort of thing. Like Conan showed it to me, except this time it wasn't like, hey, here's this demo, like I like it, like blah, blah, blah. He was kind of just like, oh, I made a song as a joke kind of thing. And then he showed it to me and I was like, dude, this is genius. Like we have to use this. And then he was like, oh, okay, great, let's do it. And you literally wrote in 30 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. It was just
again?
Like the first,
again.
the whole beat was like it sounded like super typical. And I was like, oh, this was such a simple like pop song, like, haha, this is hilarious. And then Andrew was like, no, you should do something to that. And I was like, okay, I'll make funny lyrics. And then I made it as a joke and the guys just landed up enjoying it. So we used it. So that's what the lyrics are like, Nintendo 64 in your basement, like everything with all the risque lyrics. I just went for it because it was supposed to be between the four of us, just having a laugh.
Yeah.
And they wanted to keep it, and they wanted to keep all the lyrics too. So I said, okay, sure.
The lyrics are the best part.
That's true. Because of my job where I get to talk to different artists, one thing I learned, there was one songwriter that said, when you write songs, write as if no one else would be hearing it. And I think that's what happened to you. You were so confident in everything you wrote because you thought it wouldn't be released or anything. And there you go. You wrote a very honest song.
I think you just imparted some really good wisdom onto us
right
now. Yeah, I think.
Well, I just got it from someone else.
Yeah, seriously. But it's because of you that we're hearing it. So thank you. I think that's very important. Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah.
That's what I remembered from what you said. Okay, now Sticky Situation, as I understand it, already has other versions as well. I love how you incorporated a female part into the song to like counter it a little bit. So can you tell us how that whole collaboration came about?
Yeah, so it's an artist from Vancouver as well called Madison Olds. We actually didn't know her at all, but she just tweeted about the song on Twitter. And then I looked her up and I was like, oh, she's got a great voice. And I was like, you should sing on it as well. And then she was like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we just go in the studio together. We landed up having the same mix engineer and producer. His name's Ryan Worsley, and she works with him a lot, and we work with him a lot too.
Wow,
so once we realized that, we're like, oh, we're going to get along great because you come from the same family as us, really. And so then it was just a day of her coming to the studio, and we're like, let's just flip the lyrics a little bit, do something different. We kind of turned the song around and came up with that, and that was the ultimate version, yeah.
So you wrote it together?
Yeah, she came to the studio with us, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like it was really the girl, Madison, who wrote all the female lines.
We can say that. If that's better, we can say that. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other plans in the future for 2021 for Soul Push? Anything else you're cooking? Maybe a new album, a new music video? What can you
Yes,
tell us?
We're actually cooking a lot at the moment. We have a lot of spices in the kitchen, a lot of different ingredients. Because we have basically an album that's ready to go, or like ready to finish up, that we did in Portugal. But we decided to put that on hold just for a little bit because we want to focus on more singles and just kind of build the Soul Push brand a bit more, because we live in a single era, and like great fans like you would listen to the album if it came out and everything, but it doesn't really capture the new fans yet. So we've kind of released all the singles that we had from the album that we wrote, and so we're just focusing on new stuff right now. I think in a few months you'll hear some more songs from us, and I think they're better than the stuff that we've ever done before. A little along the same lines as Good Man, but just in a kind of different vein. Yeah, and so of course I think we're gonna release around 3 or 4 more tracks this year, and then I think 2022 is gonna be probably our biggest year. Yeah, because that's when we'll get to start touring again. That's what we're waiting for. We're a live band, so we want to be on the road again, and I think that's when the album will drop as well.
And hopefully, the Philippines will be among the list of your tours. Have you ever been to the Philippines?
Never, but would love to.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But have you guys felt the energy of your Filipino fans online?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
we actually, one of our first like diehard fans was from the Philippines, and so she's always been saying like, come to the Philippines, come to the Philippines. Like, if we could, we would. If we could, we would.
Yeah.
And as soon as we get the opportunity, we will. Yeah, there's a lot of love from the Philippines. You all have like such great music taste. Not saying that you like us, but like you like have so many artists that you share on social media and put out there that just enjoy. Like, it's very welcoming, whereas not every country really accepts and pushes artists as much as you do. So thank you.
Well, we'd love to have you here. But now that we're talking about other artists, let's say, for example, sky's the limit. Any artist would say yes to you guys. Who would you want to collaborate with for a song?
Wow. I think the answer is different for all of us.
Wow, that's
Yes, let's do that one by one.
Oh god,
Sky's the limit.
there's a lot of them.
Instant yes.
Instant yes. Alive, of course, right?
Yes.
Alive, okay.
interesting.
Sky's the limit. Wow, this is where the silence comes in the alive.
It's okay. I'll give you time to think about it. But to everyone watching, please do follow Soul Push on all of their social media accounts and listen to their songs. Again, I'm one of their fans here in the Philippines, and I really want them to visit here and perform here live. So please do spread the word about their music. Soul Push, check them out.
Thank you.
Start with Like Vineyards. I think, as a Filipino, you can start there and Hourglass, that kind, and then transition to their current music, Sticky, Situation, Good Man, and everything in between. Okay, guys, do you have an answer?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I would do a little Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars, Love.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Silk Sonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
So good.
it just feels good.
Feels
Yeah.
good.
Feels right. Feels right.
You got an answer?
Yeah. Okay. I'll say. Okay. I could say so many different people, but the first person that came to my mind, I think it's just because I've been listening a lot lately, is RAC, the producer. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's just, even back in our early days, he's done a lot of remixes, but he takes songs and like gives them like this great like dancey sort of indie flair, but done in such a cool, fresh way. And I think just we would work really well with him.
Yeah.
Like our style. So yeah.
All right.
I'll-
Okay.
I'll say, just for the sake of changing it up, the first band that I ever started loving when I realized I liked bands was Coldplay. And, decade after decade, they just keep churning out some good stuff. So I think it would just be awesome to be in a room with Chris Martin and see what can happen. Yeah.
Mhm.
You knew that? Yeah.
Well, now that we've manifested into the world, let's hope someday it will happen. Nothing is impossible. We'll be waiting for that. But for now, can you please invite everyone to listen to your songs, follow you on social media? Where can they find you online? Go ahead.
Basically, we are at Soul Push everywhere, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And yeah, I mean, we've got a wide variety of music since we've been running for a while. You're bound to like one of the styles, so give us a shot, try it out. Yeah, you might even dance a little bit too, or cry. Depends on what you listen to. Yeah.
All right. What is your message to all of your Filipino fans watching right now, especially those who've been with you since you started?
We hope to see you in person soon. And thank you for following us and supporting us, because, it's easy for us to be here in our little bubble and make music and just like have fun as friends. But to get to do these sorts of things and meet new people it's really, really nice. So thank you for supporting us, and we hope it can continue to grow, and can't wait to meet you one day in person.
Honestly, and thank you so much to you for having us. Like, this has been amazing, and you've been so nice to us on social media as well. And we're so glad to just meet you, face to face, even though it's virtual. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for responding. Like, you were just, one of my favorite bands from Canada. I never thought I'd get to meet you virtually, but then I just, took a shot and I was like, wait, I want more people to listen to them. And I work for a music channel, by the way. I forgot. So maybe I can, set up an interview. And thank you so much for responding. And I hope more people can listen to your music. Now, let me just teach you one last thing in Filipino. Is that okay? For you to say to all of your Filipino fans. It's I love you. So it's mahal namin kayo.
Mahal namin kayo.
You got it on the first try. Wow. Yes.
It felt right.
I think you're the first artist I taught that to who got it on the first try.
Really?
Well, that's great.
Seriously, yes.
we rehearsed that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. And hopefully we get to meet you soon in person. I hope you can visit the Philippines and do a show here. And when you do, please do drop by our music channel. It's called Mix. And we hope you can perform for us there. But in the meantime, to everyone watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Kumu, please do stream Soul Push's Good Man. The music video is also out. And once we get the music video, please do vote for it on our official website, MYXph.com. That's it for our MYXclusive interview today. Once again, I'm VJ IE from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, Mix. Thank you so much, Andrew, Conan, and Dallin of Soul Push. Woohoo!
Thanks for having us.